and gentlemen, all rise. Court is back in session. Welcome to the 100th episode of The Devil's Due. I am your host, Carl Duty. Oh, wow, applause. We're not used to applause.
The flow here is very different.
I am your host, Carl Duty. With me, as always, is a man who, when 100 episodes you wait, look as good you will not, Mr. Drew Celestino.
Thank you, sir. 100 episodes and the first time we are ever doing this in front of anyone. So,
yes.
Besides my dog, Lucas. So, you know.
Yes, it feels strange without Lucas going in between and tripping over wires and
I could have brought him.
Havoc. You could have.
We didn't check with, ownership, though.
Bring
a guest.
Yeah.
So.
Makes sense. Okay, here we are. So, I mentioned earlier we got some prizes. Someone actually did rise, so you know what? You rise, you get a prize.
We did
pass this to the nice lady in the back. It's a Rocket Raccoon Mighty Mug. You're welcome.
Didn't I ask you last week if someone was actually going to rise?
You did.
I did. You said
no.
Yeah,
I have no judicial power to make anyone actually rise. The court is merely a theme.
And yet here we are. Okay, so kind of keeping with the theme of the show, sir. It's been a couple weeks. How have your weeks been? Very good, sir. Very good. Without getting too deeply into my minutia of my life, off the bat, we saw Ant-Man and Wasp on Friday.
We did.
So no spoilers. Snap judgment. It was great, and I hope you agree.
It was a lot of fun. It was Marvel fun. It's good times. Just a lot of things they did great. It's hard to talk about the movie, not talk about the movie. Our full review will probably be next episode. We didn't want to spoil anything for an audience who has no control to hit the pause button. So our full review, that will be next episode. So yeah, that was Friday. Anything else going on?
Well, Saturday was kind of fun. So the recording on the new Long Cold Dark song continues, and so guitars are sounding really awesome. Everything's sounding good. That should be done ideally by July 27th, but we'll we're getting there, and I'm still working on things in the house and whatnot. So fingers crossed that will happen. But in addition to that, Saturday was NJPW G1 special in USA, in San Francisco, on Access TV, and it was dope.
So for the listening audience, which we can confirm we do have
there
right
is
now,
actually one here.
What is NJPW?
NJPW is New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it is the greatest pro wrestling on the planet.
Yeah.
So this was their third ever show in the United States. I was at the second one, by the way, back in March, and it was incredible. But this was their third one in San Francisco. My heart was there, but my physical self was not, unfortunately. So the show was great. There was some unfortunate things that happened, though. So Hiromu Takahashi broke his neck. That kind of is not good.
And folks, when he says the guy broke his neck,
I'm being serious.
The guy legitimate. This is not like WWE wrestling where their finger broke neck. I've watched some of this, and at multiple points after something has happened, I've gone, I legitimately think that man is dead.
The thing is,
I think he's dead.
The thing is, when you normally
I don't
say
think it's
that,
a wrestler. I think it's just kind of like a hobo. They gave a sandwich and they said, "Here, get in that ring."
Well, they're all trained professionals, but normally, even the most devastating things look terrible, but are safe enough. This was a very obvious. Oh God, that didn't go as planned. He finished the match. He wrestled for another 3 minutes, but apparently he collapsed backstage, and he has a broken neck. So
okay.
Fingers crossed for Hiromu Takahashi because he's really, 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 really awesome, and I hope he can recover and come back because he's great.
Yeah, that sucks.
It does. But on the positive side, Kenny Omega retained his NJPW Heavyweight Championship against Cody.
Omega.
And he also staked claim to the sole leadership of the Bullet Club.
Cool.
But
the
Tongan faction,
truncated time this evening.
The Tongan faction of the Bullet Club, however, who are the original members who have not left Japan, as guys have cycled out, they have taken issue with the other guys, and laid waste to them in the ring. So there's a sort of Bullet Club Civil War happening right now. So it's kind of unfortunate.
Kind of like a Cobra Civil War?
Kind of.
Alrighty.
So, yeah. That was it. That brings us here. I've been, honing my live audience repertoire. So that's been my weeks, sir.
Okay.
How about you?
My week's relatively uneventful. We had 4th of July. I enjoyed my last year of not being forced to go to fireworks by a child. I'm sure that's all going to change next year. At work, they just started handing out days off.
And are you taking them?
I took a couple of them. The inventory's really low, so I took advantage of that. My appearance has changed a bit since our last episode. I have glasses now.
They suit you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Getting a little older, needed to see, which is good.
It helps.
And then I went and got a haircut. And I always go to the Goodfellas on Sheridan. They always do a good job. I always tell them the same thing because I don't have a lot to work with. I always tell them just give me like a 2 on the back and the sides and 2 finger lengths on top. So he did it, but he styled it differently. And he looked at it. I was like, okay, that's okay. I can go with that. I went home and I'm in the bathroom, looking in the mirror, and it's funny because he's here tonight. I'm like, that's exactly how my friend Paul styles his hair. But Paul, as you can see, he's back there, has a magnificent mane, which is the envy of many men. I have the tattered remains of a fallen empire. So I don't think he's going to mind as much. So that was pretty much what my week. Dear listeners out there listening to this when we release it, and those of you here, if you ever want to tell us about your weeks, you would think after 100 episodes,
chat,
I would have this. Oh dear.
Oh, his notes have failed him.
They have. No.
Ironically, when we do this in my studio at home, we don't fix anything in post.
Yeah, there's no editing. You can follow us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can find us on Facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these great resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. That being said, Drew, we do have some emails. Really quickly first, I want to give a shout-out to where we are right now, which is Daily Planet Coffee here on Hurdle Avenue in Buffalo, New York. Yes, please, by all means. This is a fantastic location. They were very accommodating to us and let us do this here for free, which is really cool. And who knows, if people like this might be the first of many. Never know.
I'm enjoying a fantastic iced coffee, by the way, so big ups.
Okay. So, we do have some emails, starting with Mr. Brian Budnick, who sent this back like 3 weeks ago, but I've been holding on to it because it was for our 100th episode.
And here we are. So, Brian emails us. See, this is the weird thing. I don't need the glasses for up close. I need them for distance. So You're in bifocal land, sir.
Stop. Okay, so Brian writes, "Hey guys, I would just like to start off by congratulating you on 100 episodes and thank you for making my commute more entertaining. As you think back on those early days, I would like to remind you of a bet that the two of you had that I feel needs to be addressed.
Oh, no.
Way back when Drew spent a few episodes in a row doing his best Sylvester Stallone impersonation. Best is in parentheses, mind you. I mean, it's a good impersonation, but I'm just saying.
I don't like where this is going, but go on.
Of course, this annoyed Carl to no end. He threw an ultimatum to Drew. They was not allowed to do this anymore unless Sylvester Stallone was cast in a Marvel show. Well, I would be remiss to not say anything, as we all know, Sly appeared in Guardians 2, and I feel this is a huge injustice that was never discussed. So what do you say for episode 100? We get another Sylvester Stallone line.
Hang on, show?
You want to save it for the end
Guardians
of
of
the
the
show?
Galaxy is not a show. It's a movie.
It's not, but I think in the spirit of at the time, we didn't think Sly would be in a Marvel product, and now he is because everybody in Hollywood is. But this reminds me of something before we get to Brian's actual question. We had an email from Nate a couple episodes back.
Hi, Nate.
Saying you could do. He had heard that you could do the Colossus sound effect from the old X-Men arcade game perfectly, and asked you to demonstrate. You said you were going to do it at the 100th episode.
I said that?
You did.
Oh. Hang on, how do you know about that?
I told him.
Oh.
I said, you know that sound from the X-Men arcade machine? Drew does it perfectly.
It's been a while.
I know it's been a while, but he is a listener.
Only because he's here, and if we're going to do this in front of an audience, I'm just going to go all in and embarrass myself. So.
Yeah.
Hang
Colossus?
on. Been a minute. Let me.
Lion face. Lemon face. Ooh.
I mean, Colossus is much bigger in stature than me.
True.
You know.
Big Russian. Colossus from the 90s X-Men arcade game.
It's kind of like that. Roughly like that. It's been a while, man.
It's been a while, but that was still perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, Brian's question. You guys have done a solid job honing your interview skills. So at this point, who would each of your dream guests be? So we'll start with you. What would be your dream guest for this show?
I mean, I got to interview the owner of my favorite brewery in the world on this show, so that was pretty cool. That's Greg Cook, by the way, from Stone Brewing. You can go back in our archives and find that. It was a lot of fun. That was about 1 year ago to the date, actually. So 52-ish episodes ago. But
our 2-year anniversary was 2 weeks. It was last week.
Oh, my Lord. Anyway. Dream guest, and I'll answer this no matter what, in any context, anywhere, anytime. Get me in a room with Grant Morrison, and I will have a lot of fun in that conversation. I might go right over my head, and my eyes might glaze over.
Yeah.
I might also fawn over the man, which, he's one of the few that I would do that over, but it is Grant Morrison. So. It
is Grant Morrison. He is an incredible writer.
Or, in fitting with my other aura, me and James Hetfield could probably talk for a while as well, that being of Metallica fame.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Those are my big ones.
I think for myself, going very show-centric, Joe Quesada would be really good, or Mark Hamill.
I think Mark Hamill would be a good guest anytime, anywhere.
So we have goals now. We have to get these guests on the show before.
Well, you gotta put it out into the world.
Goals.
You gotta put it out there, and you never know, it might come back. You gotta will it into existence.
Okay, so now for two of the fantastic driving forces behind the first 100 episodes of Devils Do, Mr. Alan Waiters and Mr. J. Gelsomino have helped us out with questions every show. So we'll start with Mr. Gelsomino, who could not be here today. His question is very basic. Carl, Drew, does it smell like coffee there?
Man, Jay cuts to the heart of the matter. It's very deep. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Good question. Good time.
I'm actually impressed he didn't ask about Long Beach.
We're not going there again.
No, I know we're not.
We beat that horse to death.
Well, he beat that horse to death.
Yeah. All right, so now on to Mr. Alan Waiters. Drew.
Do I let him read it? He's right there.
No. He went through the effort of sending the email. I'm going to read the email.
Okay.
Drew.
Yes.
2000-2010 is considered the platinum age of television. What two shows during this decade do you consider groundbreaking and changed the landscape of TV as we know it, in your humble opinion?
There's so much out there now. But for me, easily Lost. Even though it ended so very badly, I have never, ever in my life been so addicted to any television show before or since. Well, not since. Breaking Bad came later. I got hooked on that too. But Lost, I was doing 4 episodes a night on Lost because I didn't want to stop watching it.
Do you have to go like Lost Rehab or something? Were you out in the back alley trying to score episodes of Lost?
The last season kind of was its own rehab. It weaned you off pretty easily.
Okay.
Yeah. Secondary show? Oh, boy.
Yes, Drew do lists, Alan. He doesn't do lists.
I know, I'm bad at lists. That's kind of a theme of our show here. Second show, 2000 to 2010. Boy, The Office. Boom. I think it's a fantastic show that's only gotten better with time. I came in kind of late to it, but when I got into it, season 3-ish, I watched it all the way until the end, and as I see new shows on television, new comedies, that is, I am increasingly seeing the influence that The Office had on basically every comedy that has come out since The Office came out. So, yeah, that's my answer. Lost in The Office.
All right. This is a question to me, Carl. There's a rumor that Big Trouble in Little China is getting remade starring The Rock.
This is good. This is good, Alan. I'm glad you brought this up.
If you were to remake this movie, who would you cast?
Apparently, we have question plagiarism, by the way. Just putting that out there.
What?
There's rumors here that Alan stole that question from someone.
Oh. Thievery. First off,
Mike Book begs to differ, and he's right there. So
first off,
it's giving you the eye.
I would not remake a masterpiece. I wouldn't touch it. Would leave it as it is. Second off, if I am going to remake it, the cast is clear. It's Kurt Russell. It's still Kurt Russell because he's Kurt Russell.
I can't disagree. Kurt Russell in anything.
Yeah,
go.
I'm getting as much as the original cast back as I can. I think the only one that's passed away is the guy who played Egg Shen. Confirmation from Jim. Thank you very much.
So wait,
think
Lopan's still alive?
He's hanging in there.
He probably
so
actually
we got to hurry this up and get this off the ground. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't need a lot of makeup to look like 900-year-old David Lopan. So yeah, I would just remake it with Kurt Russell because he's Kurt Russell.
So could they do like the Logan version of Big Trouble in Little China with Kurt Russell?
No, I wouldn't want it to be that serious.
Oh, okay.
I would want it to be John Carpenter, just give us Bigger Trouble in Little China.
Bigger Trouble in Little.
That's what you call the sequel. There you go.
Good.
All right.
So no Rock.
No Rock.
Okay.
Show of hands. How many people are tired of The Rock? We got 1, 2, 3. Really?
Not as many
4.
as I expected.
All right, we got wavering.
Can I tell you all something? I'm at peak Rock. I am rocked out. And I love The Rock. But, man, all he makes is schlock, and that man can whore his schlock like nobody's business. I respect the effort, but, God, the output is just like, wow, that's a lot of work to promote Rampage. Like,
So, he's got a new movie coming out. It's Die Hard in a skyscraper.
It's Die Hard, but he has one leg, so
But Drew, it's in a skyscraper this time.
And Die Hard was okay.
Yeah,
so rock, buddy.
Yeah, we're good. We're rocked
Take a
out.
breath, Rock.
So
yes, normally
this is the point where we close the cross-examination. Does anybody in the audience have any questions? First hand up.
We have two.
Come on up. We got a microphone.
How you doing, guys?
Hi, Hawk.
Howdy.
Hi. As you all know me, I'm Michael Hofford Jr., host of It Came From the Long Box. I've been on the show a few times.
Look at that.
Look at it. He doesn't have a question. He just wants to chill.
For the wares.
No.
I respect the hustle.
I can chill. Bringing it back to Daredevil. I haven't been the biggest fan of the current Daredevil run by Charles Soule.
A little closer to hold the mic a little closer.
I haven't been the biggest fan of the current Daredevil run with Charles Soule. I think it's fine, but what Daredevil was for 12 years previous, it's kind of lackluster. Is there anybody that you guys would love to see take over Daredevil? I know my personal choice would be either Jason Aaron or Donny Cates, but if you guys had anybody in mind.
You said it, Jason Aaron. Give that guy any book right now at Marvel, and I'm all in.
Have you tasted the joy that is Donny Cates' work, though?
No, not yet.
I'm a recent convert, man.
And what's he writing? Tell me.
He did his run on Thor, or not Thor, Thanos.
Okay.
The Thanos wins arc is amazing.
All right.
I would start there and then just read God Country, Redneck, his run on Doctor Strange. He's started doing Venom right now.
Oh, is he the guy who said Venom is better than Watchmen? on
He
Twitter.
he might have been.
That sounds like him.
You know what though? That's how you sell a book.
That is
No.
that will get eyes on your book for sure.
That's how you sell a book.
Okay,
But-
so
Anyway, Jason Aaron for sure. That he is gold.
Tom King.
Also,
Tom
King
King's
would be fantastic.
Batman run right now is the best Batman I've read in years.
He is also writing. Is he the one doing Mr.
Mr. Miracle, yes.
I read Mr. Miracle, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So, Mr. Hofford, you ask a question, you get a prize. Here you go, sir.
You must come up to ask your
We have
question.
another. Well, this gentleman here. Then we'll get to Nate. There you go.
Get in line, Nate. I did. Hang on, you're cutting. You're jumping the line.
You're jumping the line.
You're jumping the line,
Yes.
man. We have an unruly show. My God.
Up on stage. I'm Tom Fenzel.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hello.
Good to
everyone.
put a face to the email name. Thank you so much for your support of the show.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad you guys are doing this live. I enjoy you all. Question
up?
for both of you. If you had a chance to do any animated voice whatsoever from your childhood up to now, who would you do? What character? And can we have an example?
Oh.
Ooh.
Wow. Well, childhood till now, the one voice I could do as a lad and still do today. I can do Barney Gumble. So
Everybody can do Barney.
I guess they can, but because that's about all I got, I'll do Barney Gumble. So yeah.
I have to be sick, but when I am sick, I can pull off a really good classic 80s Megatron. I just go around the house going, yes.
Give
But
that
I
man
need
the
like a
cold
good
now.
like bile in the throat to really make it work. So that's mine, Megatron.
Wow.
So-
All right.
All right, Tom, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Guess
Tom.
what? Tom gets a prize. Tom, you get a copy of Daredevil Born Again. Interesting read for the upcoming season of Daredevil.
That's called homework right there.
That's homework. Mr. Nate Lockhart of the Memory Machine Podcast.
He's whoring for you.
I wasn't going to plug, but
You
thanks,
have to
Carl.
plug, man. If you have
Thanks.
stuff, plug your stuff.
No. Not that kind of. Okay, so I don't really have much of a question, but I wanted to tell you this in person to gauge your reaction.
Uh-oh.
This is what I did earlier today.
Oh, dear.
I took an NES controller, an old school original NES controller, and I ripped its guts out,
Okay.
and I put in a new PCB, and I wired it up to work with an Atari 7800. So
Interesting.
the dead husk of an NES controller is now on an Atari 7800.
I have questions.
Okay.
So the
I
D-pad
can't
and the
give
buttons
you
all still
prizes.
work?
They all still work.
So it's all the same, but you just made it work with an Atari.
I did.
Because
it's plugged
as we
up
know,
to an Atari 78. There's
The
an
Atari
NES
controllers
logo.
are absolute garbage.
Oh, the 7800 is awful.
Well, then in
they
this
call
case-
them the pain line controllers. So
In this case, I think good job.
even though okay, all right,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
It wasn't the reaction. I didn't think I was going to get that one. But,
There's enough NES controllers in the market for you to.
Boy, howdy, are there?
Yeah,
there's a lot.
You can make yourself a little something to improve your gaming
Okay.
life.
All right.
All right, well, it might not be a question, but it's still audience participation. So, Nate, you get a prize. You get a Street Fighter Pixel Pal.
Oh, cool.
There you go. Knock yourself out.
Thanks. It's Cammy.
It's the front view of Cammy. So settle
Really
down.
quickly, before we wrap it up, any other questions from the crowd? And the answer
It's a resounding no.
Yeah, okay. All right, so that's
on.
it for the cross-examination. Now we're going to open up the case files and get into the news. A lot of geek news over the past couple weeks. We would be remiss, though, if we did not start on down note, unfortunately. Actually, Friday night, as the credits were rolling on Ant-Man and Wasp, you showed me your phone, and we got the news that Steve Ditko had passed away. To say that Steve Ditko's work affected my life would be a gross understatement. He was a co-creator of Spider-Man. He co-created with Stan Lee Doctor Strange. He created the Creeper for DC Comics. He created the Question for Charlatan Comics, which later went over to DC. He did
Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle. He revolutionized
The modern
Blue
10-cord
Beetle.
version.
Yep. So his passing is unfortunate. He was 90 years old.
It's a good run. He had a good run.
Yeah.
Although quiet lately, he was something of a recluse.
He's always been very much recluse. He did not like to there's artists that you can go up and talk to about their work, and they're very gracious with their time and things like that. Steve Ditko, unfortunately, was not one of those by choice. He just he would talk about a lot of things with fans, but a lot of the primary stuff that you didn't. Don't worry, that's my friend Jim. I know. There's a lot of concerned faces. He just.
Carl, someone's walking off with your son.
Yeah, he just went up and picked up my son and started watching. Everyone's like, are we watching a kidnapping?
Stop the show. Do something.
So well, the show must go on. Steve Ditko didn't like to talk about Spider-Man or a lot of stuff. He didn't like to talk about his falling out with Stan Lee. So he was very recluse, so much so that he actually passed away on June 28th or 29th, and the public just found out about it last Friday. So, yeah, pour one out for Steve.
One for Steve.
One for Steve. All right, so moving on to other news. We've discussed some sad. Let's discuss some really happy.
Okay.
Drew, it was announced actually. Well, I am excited. Everybody should be excited because Billy D is coming back to a galaxy far, far away. It was announced yesterday that Billy D. Williams will reprise the role of Lando Calrissian in Star Wars Episode 9.
This is great.
Drew, we always kind of butt heads on Star Wars. We have different ways we approach the franchise. I love this news.
I like it too.
Okay.
It's a retroactive complaint. I'm happy that they're doing it. It's awesome. Bring them back.
Yeah.
Why did you wait till now? It's like
it wasn't my decision. I
know.
Well, no. The original plan was he was in Last Jedi. He was supposed to be the code breaker.
Would have made sense.
Were going for, but Billy D has had health issues, so he could not do the shooting.
I guess it's one of those laments we're going to have about the new Star Wars trilogy is that they did bring back all the original cast, but they never seem to be able to figure out how to write them into a scene together. So yeah, yay!
See, and I'm okay with that.
Leia and Han got back together, but we get no such reunion between Han and Luke, and now Carrie Fisher is actually dead. So we our heroes from our youth will never see the screen again.
I'm okay with
together.
that because it shows that war tears things apart. War separates things, and those things don't always come back together. So it's
that's fair, but
I know. Trust me, I wanted to see them all together as much as you did, but
and we also put this pretty well constructed idea together where they could frame the Solo movie with a flashback or whatever. So you would have the cantina now in whatever the current time, and you get Chewbacca comes in, and Billy D is there.
Billy D, and they raise a glass to Han, and the whole Solo story is a flashback.
Right.
This is why we need to be allowed to write movies because
give me the money, and I will write the movie. That said, right. Solo was still good, by the way.
Yeah,
so
Solo. We loved Solo. It was great.
I thought it was great. It deserved to do better.
Good news there. Now, some images leaked thanks to Denny's.
As is the thing now.
Denny's is a big source of geek leaking news. We got our first look at the new costumes of the X-Men in the upcoming X-Men Dark Phoenix film, and they are very
film.
They are very reminiscent of the costumes used in the Grant Morrison run of X-Men.
They are, and that's cool.
Still not enough to
be
excited about this film,
though. Like that. I'm a big fan of the Grant Morrison costumes, and I'm air quoting that because they're more like just kind of matching outfits, leather jackets, and they weren't really costumes. It was just kind of like a matching uniform set. But as much as that sounds like it should be easy to do, at least based on the Denny's cups, they're using the look, but it doesn't quite look right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I haven't cared about X-Men movies in a long time.
Neither have I. I've let go.
I want to care. I want them to be good, but they're just not. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's X-Men.
I can't disagree. I checked out a while back, man. They're not winning me back just because they use Grant Morrison costumes. So
Yeah, when Apocalypse sounded like he did, I was like, that was Peter Griffin. Done.
the Ivan Ooze incarnation of Apocalypse. Yeah.
Okay, so
you know, they had some cool costumes at the end of that movie, didn't they? Didn't they kind of comic book up those costumes at the end of that flick?
what, Power Rangers?
No, the X-Men.
Well, you said Ivan Ooze.
Didn't they give Cyclops like the classic?
Yeah.
But so we flushed that down the toilet.
It's too
already.
little, too late.
All right. Well,
Okay, so it was announced, I think, 2 weeks ago that we're going to be getting a new entry in the Spider-Man movie franchise. Not the Marvel Spider-Man, but the Spider Universe, as it were.
yes.
Drew, we're getting a Morbius movie starring Jared Leto.
Because who demanded it?
I think Mike did.
Oh.
I think he was. I think
right.
he's the only one that wants that.
So, number one, who wants a Morbius movie? And number two, much like The Rock, I am at peak Leto. I don't like Jared Leto, and I don't care to see him anymore.
What's he been in? I mean,
No.
Suicide Squad, but what, like,
It's
The
not-
Rock is literally in a movie every month.
Yes. And yet somehow I find him less objectionable than Jared Leto. It's weird.
Okay, I mean,
Did you see the Joker thing? I mean, come on.
I said the Joker.
That was
thing,
enough. I was
the
done.
Joker thing is not 100% his fault. First off, it's terrible costume design.
Yes.
His performance was not terrible.
I mean,
This is not your show, Mike.
he's just a weirdo.
It's just
I don't
the fact,
need
like,
him around.
I mean, are vampires still a thing? I know I'm old and out of touch with the kids these days.
The last I checked, they sparkled or something, and then after that, they're gone. I don't know anything.
Yeah,
about them,
I mean, if you want to
don't
do Morbius in a Spider-Man film as like a C story, okay. Beyond that, again, Sony's just like, they're trying to make Spider-Man work for them without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And aside from the animated film coming out, which looks great, like
We got
Venom.
news on that too.
Venom, I don't care about Venom. I don't. I'm sorry.
If you've listened to this show, you know our thoughts on.
Yeah, I'm not excited to see Tom Hardy the movie.
I'm not excited to see Tom Hardy try and do whatever accent he's trying to do in that trailer for a whole movie.
It's not good.
And I'm sorry, but symbiote, get out.
That didn't bother me as much.
Not how you say that
as you
word.
did. Yeah,
Leave right
that's
now.
fine. All right. Yeah, we do have a little bit.
No.
Show of hands. How many Nicolas Cage fans do we have in the audience?
Don't lie.
We're getting some babies.
We got one.
We've got news that Nicolas Cage will be a voice in the Spider-Man animated film coming out. He will be voicing Spider-Man Noir.
All I can say is I hope that they mocap his face for the role, and he just goes ballistic full Nick Cage for this film.
Now switch to webbing.
Sure. Just let him go completely, Wicker Man insane. Like, put his head in bees.
Think my spider sense
Not the
is
bees.
tingling. This is not the bit.
I'm all for
not
this.
the spiders. All right. So last bit of news we have is it's not uncommon for big events in comics to get mainstream news coverage. So building up, as I said, the Tom King run of Batman has been like the best Batman run I've been reading in a while. Building up to that has been the potential wedding between Batman, Bruce Wayne, and Catwoman, Selena Kyle. And they've been doing a really good job building up to it. It's been a really good read. And then it was all going to culminate in issue 50. And then the New York Times spoiled issue 50.
Yeah, that's weird.
I've never seen this happen before. I've seen coverage of it. I've seen theorizing on what will happen in the book, but they flat out came out and said...
Can we spoil it? I mean, it's public knowledge at this point. Spoilers, they don't get married.
Yeah, they don't get married.
Doesn't happen.
And the reason...
Sorry. I don't mean to alarm you.
The reason... Well, get up to date on your reading pile. It came out last week. So yeah, that was kind of a disappointment. It was still a good issue.
It was several days in advance, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was almost a full week in advance of it coming out. And not only that, they released Catwoman issue 1 on that same day. And the cover of Catwoman issue 1 has Selina holding a copy of Batman 50 saying, "Read this first or I'll spoil it for you." DC.
Someone dropped the ball there somewhere, it feels like.
Yeah.
I don't care so much about the story, Batman 50 and all that, whatever. But that does really suck that a major plot point was given away in a much more major publication to a nationwide audience days before it went on sale. I guess DC could look at it and go, well, if you're going to buy Batman 50, we're going to buy it anyway. But I guess you're also throwing away any potential chance of casual fans who don't necessarily know what's going to happen of buying it and reading it and hooking them.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
I hope they pursue some sort of... they should write an impassioned letter to the New York Times editorial page.
A firm fist shaking?
Yes. AT&T can, certainly flex their muscle and write an impassioned letter.
AT&T owns DC Comics now. That's still weird to think about.
It is. Pretty soon, Carl.
My phone service owns Batman.
Everything. So just accept it now.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's all the news we have. Do you have anything?
I left this to you.
Okay, well, we see where you have failed. Okay, so that does it for News for Week. Normally in the show, we break down episodes of Netflix Marvel shows. We're currently in the middle of Jessica Jones Season 2. We wanted to do something special for this 100th episode, something that people have been asking for a long time for us to do.
We've certainly avoided it for 100 episodes.
We have avoided it, but we figured it's a special occasion. People have been asking for it. We have, and we don't know for how much longer, we currently have Batfleck. But before we had Batfleck, we had Darefleck.
We did.
So last night, Drew and I revisited the 2003 Daredevil film.
Now,
non-director's cut, theatrical release.
I brought both. He opted for theatrical, and for the sake of discussion and for what everyone has probably seen, it seems like the theatrical cut was probably the best way to go. Yeah.
Okay.
So, how do you want to approach this?
There's two ways.
It's a well-renowned bomb.
I think you're playing fast and loose with the phrase "well-renowned."
Well, it's renowned for being a bomb.
I think there's two ways to look at it. We can look at it pre-2008 and post-2008. Yeah, because when Iron Man comes out, it changes everything. So looking at this film pre-2008, it's not horrible.
Well, it's certainly it is a movie
with actors
that was released
and acting.
I will give it this, and
I'm sorry, acting.
Let me get it out of the way. So, as much as people have lambasted the film, and it kind of did poorly and was something of a joke for a while, and I put Daredevil as a character on ice for a while. Yeah. To the point where when the TV series was coming up, I was very excited about the TV series, but I knew anytime I would bring up Daredevil and my insane Daredevil fandom to people, they're like, oh, the Ben Affleck movie. Ooh, that stunk. Why do you like that? Yeah. And I'm like, I have to, hang my head in shame. Like, well, because the comics are really good. True. So
it's pre-2008. We had to hide our passions.
Hey, what are you going to do? But I will say that the writer-director, Mark Steven Johnson, if nothing else, tried to make a love letter to Daredevil. And what I mean by that is they tried to incorporate a lot of Daredevil's big ticket stories, and
Yes.
it's very reverent of the source material. The problem is
Yeah, it's kind of like the
it
love
doesn't
letters.
tie any of it together in any cohesive way. So it's
kind of like the love poems I would write a woman in like high school or something.
Sure,
The effort was there.
your heart was in the right place.
Sure, just the results
Poor.
not so much.
Yeah.
It's when you had like looking at it pre 2008. They shoved everything into this film.
Yeah,
like
it's
you've got Kingpin, you've got Bullseye, you've got Elektra, you've got
The origin,
like the only thing it's missing is the hand,
basically,
and
Stick.
you've got the origin, you've got it's missing Stick, and it's just there's too much going on in this film, and
not enough to make it all work together.
no, it's like it's bullet points of what could have been a better story.
Yes, they should have excised one or two of the things in the
but
film.
Let's talk about what they did right.
Okay,
Visualization of his powers.
excellent. Arguably better than the show, since we rarely see it on the show.
Yeah.
By default, it almost has to be. But even for what it is really good.
Yeah, they find a good way of explaining like his radar sense, for lack of a better word. There's a good visualization of that. Sense of smell and enhanced senses. So that was done really well. Casting. With
Overall,
one exception.
With one exception.
With
Casting
one exception.
was good.
Was fantastic.
Yes.
The one exception being Elektra.
Yeah.
I never...
Jennifer Garner would later go on to be like romantic comedies and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's the vibe she gives off in this movie as well.
And I get
From the
why...
moment she walks on screen, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, it's, 50
Yeah,
first dates or
I'm waiting
something.
to hear the Jim Blossoms when she walks on the screen. Yeah, a little, maybe some Goo Goo Dolls.
I don't, and she was underwritten as well, though. They tried to give her some kind of pathos, but like by the time her father is killed and she vows revenge, I have no reason to believe whatsoever that she is this trained assassin who is about to go on a deadly wrath of vengeance.
Yeah.
She's like the girl in the coffee shop who all of a sudden is like cutting up sandbags in her very spacious New York room. Who's dropping those sandbags anyway?
Who's cleaning up the sand?
Who's cleaning it up?
There's no
I don't get it.
furniture in that room. I don't get it.
Yeah, it was weird.
I mean, clearly she got the part because, like, well, she's on Alias. We know she can do something like this. She was hot at the time. I mean, I can see the decision behind the casting, sure, but the execution just isn't there. She's not written well. She's not the Elektra that Frank Miller created.
No.
Yeah.
And a nitpick, I do have Greek heritage. She doesn't look very Greek at all. So
Okay.
yeah,
Why-
it's a minor point.
Why
But
gotta be
come on.
racist?
Just saying, man.
Was there anything else they did good in this movie?
Well, winks and nods. And we don't get winks and nods like we used to in the Marvel flicks
Right,
anymore.
right.
So in previous to the MCU, a lot of these movies would throw not just cameos of characters but the MCU does that all the time, as
Yeah.
we know. And it's great because they usually pay that off with a later appearance or development with those characters later on.
That's the part of seeing the Marvel films that my wife hates the most, because like when Bob shows up on screen, I'm going, honey,
It's Bob!"
It's Bob!
Right.
He does this thing in that issue. She's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, but we get...
You're embarrassing yourself.
We get creator winks and nods. And,
Yes,
and other
yes.
movies did that too. And I think that's really cool, and we don't get that anymore. So we get like the character in the movie named Jose Quesada. Joe Quesada, obviously this editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics at the time, and who was a fantastic Daredevil artist.
Yeah.
Practically saved Marvel with that title. What else was that? Frank Miller shows up for a half a second as a corpse. What else did they throw in there? Kirby, Kevin Smith
John Romita.
played Kirby. John Romita's name on the marquee.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I see. Like
These are all creators that have worked on the character in the past in the comics, so it's kind of like a wink and the nod to the comic fans. Yeah, but like we said, the Marvel films don't do that anymore.
They
'cause
really don't.
If a small character like that comes up in Marvel, it's literally a character from the comic that has a history.
Or Stanley.
Or Stanley. And Stanley was in this as well.
Yeah, he was. So, speaking of Stan Lee, well,
Yes.
the other thing the movie did really well, the one part that we both remarked was really well done. The origin and the guy who plays his father.
Yes.
That whole sequence is great.
David Keith.
Okay,
And
not Keith David.
Not Keith David. I
Very
said
different.
to you.
Very different.
I said to you, we need a new Ebony and Ivory film starring David Keith and Keith David.
It could be like the... this is going to go over some people's heads, but some people might get it. It's going to be Black Hammer, White Lightning, if you will.
Yes. Yes.
See? That's right.
Major League.
Tried to go see it, but it was only on screen for 2.5 hours.
I did hear it was in focus.
I did hear it was in focus.
Yeah,
that was great.
The origin was good, even though Stick was not part of the origin.
Yeah, so now we're going to get into some flaws here,
Yeah, they can.
which is going to be the rest of the show.
Yeah, now we're looking at this like post 2008, when we know there are things like continuity, and you can take the subject matter seriously and make a good story out of it.
Well, for one thing, they take the heroicism of Matt's blinding right out of it.
Yeah.
He gets blinded completely by accident, which he did in the comics. However,
And
in the
in the
comics,
Netflix
it's
show.
an act of sacrifice.
Yes.
He
In
saves the old man.
Yeah, in
and
the
then
comics,
gets blinded.
there's an old man crossing the street. There's a truck full of toxic chemicals that the old man doesn't see. So Matt Murdock, as a child, pushes the old man out of the way, and the truck swerves and spills chemicals into his face, giving him his powers, and also giving us the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That is correct. That is correct. You can look it up.
Yes. So yeah, in this one, he sees his father acting as an enforcer, as a mob enforcer, and he runs away and forklift, stabby, toxic drums, spill,
And there we are.
sizzle.
Yes. So again, it wasn't a heroic deed. It was just more a freak accident that happened.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. The hyperbaric chamber. Now look,
Yeah.
if you're going to have a whole if the kid wakes up and he has completely out of control powers, and within 30 seconds of that scene, it all quiets down and he's totally okay, and he grows up honing his skills and his powers and whatnot his whole life until we get to the flash forward where now he is Ben Affleck. Why does Ben Affleck need to sleep in a hyperbaric chamber?
It worked for Michael Jackson?
Sure. Did it?
Well, it's not. It's pour one out.
I guess. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, the sensory deprivation chamber just...
I think they were
The
trying to
sensory
sell his
deprivation
torture
chamber,
a little hard.
the whole, like... Basically, we realized that Mark Steven Johnson is trying to make a Batman film.
Oh yeah. They wanted to make Batman with Daredevil.
Yeah.
So he has like the Dare Cave, basically.
Sure, the Devil Cave, the
Sure,
Devil's
whatever you want
Hole.
to call it.
Yeah.
So when he comes down the stairs to his apartment, it's got like Gothic statues all down the stairwell.
Yeah, they wanted to make Wayne Manor in an apartment in New York City.
Yeah. From this poor lawyer who doesn't get paid much. He has this posh space with a whole hidden lair with multiple costumes, a gigantic walk-in for New York City, by the way, for all of them. Many iterations of weaponry, masks. He literally has a bat cave.
It's not good.
No, I like the show. He's just got a trunk.
Yeah, it's got a Foot Locker.
Yeah, that works for me. Okay. We like Jon Favreau.
We do like Jon Favreau as Foggy. I almost said Happy.
See, post-2008.
Yeah, pre-2008, post that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
Now,
not good. It's not good.
I like that here's what they tried to do. They tried to sell the character's arc as like he needs to be redeemed in a way. So the way you do that, the way Elektra saves him in the end, this is all in the script where he says like Elektra saved me and yada yada. Like he spares the Kingpin's life at the end. Spoilers, by the way. He spares his life and doesn't kill him, and then we're supposed to be like, oh, what a great selfless act, Daredevil. The only reason we have that to say is because he's killing people in the beginning of this movie.
Yeah,
Grisly deaths.
He just like throws a dude on the train track and mocks him as the train is coming.
And severs him in half.
Yeah.
as we see later.
Yeah. Joey Pants is Ben Urich.
You liked it more than I did.
Yeah, I did. But it's Joey Pants.
He's hard to hate.
He is.
Although he did turn on Neo and Morpheus. So
Well, no one's perfect. You know what I like him the best, and you're going to laugh, but you know what I absolutely love him in that I will watch anytime? No.
he's good in that.
Bad Boys. Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2 is the captain.
Okay.
The fiery captain. Oh, it's hilarious. It's fantastic.
What's he doing now?
Not a lot.
We need more Joey Pants, I feel.
Sure.
Okay.
Michael Duncan Clark.
Michael Clark Duncan.
I thought it was the other way around.
No, it's Michael Clark Duncan.
Okay, Michael Clark Duncan.
This is not a Keith David situation.
Too many names.
Okay.
Too many names. Good as the Kingpin.
I thought he was great as the Kingpin.
I mean, not to speak ill of the dead.
No.
He's no D'Onofrio.
No, but it's a completely different presentation. Again, vastly, grotesquely underwritten. There's like nothing. He's just we just accept that he is this big crime boss because we are told that he is. That drove me nuts the whole movie because there's constant references to this business, and in business I've learned this, and it's like, what business are you in? You don't tell me, so I don't know.
Yeah.
He has a building in Midtown Manhattan. It's like 80 stories tall. What do you do, sir?
He acquires his money through ill-begotten means.
We don't even see that. It's just talked about. Maybe.
Yeah, I know.
Once, like, one line, maybe. But that said, he is physically imposing and has a very huge presence, and I thought that was a great bit of casting. I know it was it was not for nothing. It was controversial at the time.
Yeah, because
of obvious dumb reasons.
Yeah, stupid race reasons.
Yes.
Can we talk about Bullseye? I mean, we kind of have to.
We can talk about Bullseye.
Good casting.
What they call Bullseye.
Colin Farrell.
It depends how you feel about Colin Farrell.
Peak Farrell 1.0.
Okay. Wasn't that Minority Report, though?
Yeah, Minority. Well, no, that was kind of like the one that put him on the map.
Oh, okay.
In a time of lavish, extravagant costumes.
Yeah.
Can we not do something better than a brand on the forehead?
Yeah. I said to you when they introduced him in the bar, he has the black cap on, or a beanie of some kind. If they would have just put the thing on the beanie,
just put the bullseye on the beanie.
I'm good.
Put the bee on the bee.
He could wear it the whole film, and I'm okay. But as soon as he does that and takes it off, and it's like, you're doing that. You know what's even dumber about that?
What's up?
They put that into the comic after the fact. Yeah. Because, the movie was so successful that we had to have corporate synergy that demanded that he look like that.
Makes sense.
Of course.
Not really, but sure.
He's in this whole other movie. Everyone else is kind of playing this earnestly.
He really is. Well, I mean...
We talk about Nick Cage.
This is peak Farrell 1.0, so this is pre-rehab Farrell 2.0.
You're giving him an out. I think he just thought, well, this script is terrible, so I'm just going to go full Nick Cage on this. And he does.
He really does.
He is hamming it up, as they say, in every scene, basically. Yeah. Watch this movie and just pay attention to his face. It is bananas.
The CG...
yeah.
Is bad for even 2003.
They wanted to... See, Spider-Man came out.
Yep.
They wanted to do Spider-Man, but they didn't have the money to do Spider-Man. So we got some serious PlayStation 2 power in this film.
Yep. Yeah. It's not... It doesn't... Every time it starts to hit a flow, it hits you with something that makes you go, wait, what?
Yeah. It tries. It does
then that's just
try.
Then it just breaks everything.
So we're also post Batman 89, right?
Yes.
And you would think...
Wait, let me check my math.
2003...
1989, 2003. Yes, we are post Batman 1989.
Why did they insist on trying to film it at times like it was Batman 66? We had Dutch tilts in like everywhere. Shot. Every single
courtroom,
scene, at least one
slightly
Dutch tilt.
tilted. Matt's apartment.
And once you notice it, you will not be able to unsee it. It's like, oh my God, they're doing it again. Everything's like this. Everything is slightly off kilter. What? Wait.
That worked for Batman 66. There's a reason they have not done it since then.
There's a reason a lot of directors don't do that. Because it's not good.
It's, I mean, there's so many ways we could say this movie wasn't great.
Well, you know. We tried to give it the benefit of the doubt. We are fans.
The film Daredevil was made in time where we're post X-Men, post Spider-Man films. So studios are just throwing anything at the wall to find that next big thing. So, I mean, it's kind of, they probably got them on the cheap.
Somewhat, and Daredevil was sort of a hot property at the time.
They clearly didn't break the bank on the film.
No.
I mean, all the budget went into the casting.
Probably.
I don't think there's really anything else we can say too much about this.
They tried.
They did try.
They tried. What's
the lesson learned here? Never try.
Never try. No. Ironically, Fox did give Mark Steven Johnson another Marvel movie after this.
Oh God, he did Ghost Rider.
He did do Ghost Rider.
Oh.
And instead of Colin Farrell pretending he's Nick Cage, they actually got him Nick Cage.
Can we get Colin Farrell? No, he's in rehab.
Okay.
Can we get Nick Cage?
Yes.
Where's the intern with the change from lunch? Okay, $4.23. Yes, we can get Nick Cage.
Was this? Yeah, that was around when his financial woes started to become public knowledge, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Ghost Rider is bad.
Yeah.
I went to see, because Ghost Rider, again, my second favorite Marvel character. Mm-hmm. I was excited to see they were doing a movie. I went to a friend of mine who was unfamiliar with the comic character, came with me to the film. At the end, he just leans over to me. He's like, was that good?
If you have to ask.
No.
No, it's not.
They got the look of Ghost Rider and his motorcycle right. Everything else from there, terrible.
Yeah.
And then they tried to do another one. That was worse.
Ghost Rider.
That was
cool.
worse.
Okay.
And then they said, you know what? Nick Cage as Johnny Blaze didn't really work in the first one. Let's do another one.
Yeah, let's bring him back.
I am so glad we're post 2008.
Yeah, Iron Man saved the world, literally. Well, for us anyway.
Yeah,
it changed the game. Daredevil it's such a confounding movie. As a fan, it really it hurt me. But again, I think they definitely tried. There is a lot of fandom in it. Some of those stuff in the movies right off the page, like the whole death of Elektra, is basically
that's
right
literally
off the page.
How it appeared in the comic.
It just had zero gravitas because we didn't
have time to care about Elektra. She's in 3 scenes up to that point.
About that, yeah.
We don't have time to care about any of these characters because you're putting too much in here.
I did have the idea.
Now we're getting a little too much time to care about these characters. With 13 episodes. Cut it back to 10.
That's a whole other discussion about the shows, but they tried. But thankfully, it has, as we are sitting here doing a show about it, it got better.
Yeah,
it did
get better, especially considering the Netflix show now is fantastic. For any of you who haven't watched the Netflix show,
number one, why are you here?
I'm looking at certain people. Watch the Netflix show. It's awesome.
It is.
All right.
It's great.
So normally this is kind of where we wrap up the show. We've got a little bit of time left, and I've still got some stuff left in the prize bag here. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
And we got some double dippers, man.
Okay, you can ask.
Come back and ask a question. We'll allow it.
We don't have a ton of time left, Mike.
Shill your wares.
Okay, talking about the Daredevil movie, you have seen the R-rated director's cut.
I have, yes.
Is your opinion of that different?
It's better. Not by much.
It is better.
I mean, it's still
It
not
has a
good.
story.
It has more of a story. They explain how the cops find
And
out.
it has Coolio.
It does have It's got 100% more Coolio.
He took us on a fantastic voyage.
He sure did.
Gangster's Paradise, yo.
That's right. It is a better movie, but it's the problems overall still remain. Like, Elektra's still kind of whatever. The only thing it really does well is that Coolio subplot does kind of, if I am not mistaken, lead to the reveal to the public and the police that Wilson Fisk is the kingpin of crime, which explains in the end why the cops are going to the tower for him and not Daredevil, when the whole 30 minutes preceding that, they are chasing Daredevil explicitly and have nothing to do with it with Kingpin whatsoever, and no reason to go there for him at all.
Yeah.
So director's cut kind of fills that in, which
It's
is nice.
kind of like going from getting punched in the throat to getting punched in the gut.
Pick one.
Well, no, like
Which one is better?
Well, no, getting punched in the throat is worse.
Okay.
So that's the theatrical cut. The director's cut's like getting punched in the gut. Still sucks.
Yeah.
But it's slightly better than getting punched in the throat.
And since you guys mentioned it, I challenge you to do both Ghost Rider movies on the show. I'll even help you guys with one of them.
No. No.
I'll do it.
Listen,
But we got to sell him. So thanks, man.
we did Trial of the Incredible Hulk, and that was...
Oh, that was fun.
That was-
it was terrible, but it was fun.
That was Daredevil lives in the suburbs?
Yeah, of like Vancouver. It's
Yeah, but it's New York City.
right.
Yeah.
Yes. And Kingpin has a serious VHS fetish, which is
Yeah.
not a thing I knew about until that movie.
But John Rhys Davies, good Kingpin.
Sure.
I mean, beard, but, it was the 80s.
It was the 80s.
It was very much the 80s.
I would pose this, because I thought about it last night, even though we're talking about this movie right now, but like we should do like a commentary track for the Daredevil movie. Because I think there's just so many observations that we had. It was like rapid fire.
Yeah, I mean...
But then we'd have to watch it again. That's the
True, true.
Which I don't want it to.
Yeah. I mean, we're not getting paid for this.
No.
If we started like a Patreon that nobody would sign up for,
Well,
maybe then, but yeah.
there you go. See?
So we got $2.
There you go.
That's-
What's a red box on a Daredevil DVD? It's got to be like $2, right? Come on. 99 cents, right? I don't even know. Probably.
yeah.
I own 2 copies.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Anything? Anyone?
That's a no.
Wants a prize? Oh, we got our question.
no, another one.
Come on back up.
Yeah, come on up.
Yeah, come on up.
You need a microphone because that's how it's getting recorded.
Just want to see what beer have you been drinking lately?
The beer discussion.
Or making.
So, well, unfortunately, as you may or may not know, my son is due in about 2 months.
Yay!
So, yeah. Kind of a big deal. So, as a result...
You're gonna be a dad.
I know. Poor kid. He's got no idea. But as a result, I've been like flipping my whole house around and like blowing it up. So I've been very, very busy. So the season turned, and I was like, yes, brewing weather. But I have no time to brew, so I've not been brewing anything. But I have had a good stash in the fridge for the last little while. So I had some of the Barrier Every Time I Die collaboration, the band. They have a rye IPA that was pretty good. A lot of Stone, as always, are my favorite brewery. I brought that up before. But their new Fear Movie Lions IPA in a white can. It's really good. And let's see, what else have I had recently that I really enjoyed? If it's juicy, I'm in. So there's some Imperial Arts Wrench that I've been enjoying as well. So check that out. So, yeah, cool. That's about it.
Yeah.
Beer. I could go for a beer.
Beer. Coffee.
Beer.
So yeah, kids coming soon. That'll be fun.
It will be. I hope. It will be. I'm psyched. I'm very excited.
Okay, last call for any questions or comments. Alan Waiters, ladies
Oh my
and gentlemen.
God. Yes.
Mr. Alan Waiters.
Hey guys,
What's up?
Yeah, Alan.
have you guys ever thought about doing a Botchamania style but with old Marvel movies?
What's Botchamania?
I would have to have some serious video editing skills to pull that off.
I think you do.
Time is a factor, Alan.
You have
but
time.
What's Botchamania?
What's Botchamania? Oh dear. Botchamania is an excellent show that comes out semi-regularly. It is a compilation of botches in professional wrestling. So
when someone gets their neck broken.
No.
How is that not a botch? He got his neck broken.
That's one instance. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes guys just screw stuff up and look really stupid, which is basically Botchamania in a nutshell. And then there's really great edits that people make for the endings where they splice in pop cultural shows and they make it wrestling relevant, and they're often hilarious. So, Botchamania. They don't need me to show for them, but I will anyway. Botchamania.
Alan Waiters, you get a prize, sir. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
Alrighty then.
All right, I think it's about that time.
It
Drew.
is.
Before we wrap things up, we just want to say it's been a great 100 episodes.
Mostly great.
We've had some clunkers. We look forward to 100 more. Definitely some special thank yous. Thank you first and foremost to our wives. My wife was here. Did she finally get smart and leave me? Is she? All right. More time to play X-Wing, I guess.
There you go. Where are you going to store your ships if you're out of the house?
Well, it's like a tackle box.
Okay.
It's a problem, but it's a small problem.
Okay. But you got to live out of that tackle box now, too.
Listen. Yes, I have an X-Wing problem, but I don't have a cocaine problem.
It's the little
and
things.
That's much more expensive.
Hang on. Is it? Is it, though?
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
We're still talking cocaine.
I don't. Okay, I'm just gonna let that lie. I've seen your X-Wing collection, sir. I think that would get you quite a lot of cocaine.
All right, so crystal meth. I don't know the street value.
Neither
of any
do
of
I,
this
man.
stuff.
I live in the suburbs. What can I tell you?
Does anyone know the street value of crystal meth?
At least
Okay.
X-Wing will get to keep your teeth, and your skin will remain intact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's different kinds of rehabs.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, X-Wing is a game I play, and it's chess with Star Wars ships and flying around.
It consumes.
I'm just getting less cool as I keep talking. But I don't care. Appreciate it. So, very special thank you to our wives who support this endeavor. Thank you very much to those who weekly on the show send in questions and support the show. Tom, Alan, Jay, who couldn't be here tonight. Anybody who's ever been on the show, Mike, Jim, Nate, Alan again's been on the show. You guys have been great. We appreciate it. Thank you to anybody who retweets, shares the show. To
Very
get support
important that
out
you do
there.
that, by the way.
We appreciate it. We love doing this. We're going to do this regardless of people listening. Well, at least until your wife gives birth, and we'll see what happens.
Might be a little hiatus there for a minute. We'll see. Then again, I might be eager to get away and just let's do a show, please.
Yeah,
Can we do 2 a week? Because I got time.
2 episodes a week.
Anyway.
All right. So thank you very much for everyone, sir. Thank you very much for coming on this adventure.
It's been fun. Thank you for getting me out of podcast retirement.
Yeah, I kind of had to drag you kicking and screaming. The whole no swearing thing was a big sticking point for you.
It was. I've adapted well.
But look, we've got kids here now who can enjoy the show and learn.
They've heard me swear.
And Mike. We've got Mike here. We can't use
Mike's
bad
heard me
language
swear
around
too.
Mike.
Yeah, see,
you get used to it.
You do. You actually do. It's weird.
Folks, that's going to wrap it up for us. If you would like to find us out in the social media or in the web, you can do so at Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can go to Facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources available to you on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. Drew, any last thoughts?
We should also thank Daily Planet for hosting
Oh,
this
yes.
event. So
Daily
thank you guys
Planet,
very much.
thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Please give them money for beverages and food. They've been great.
That's it, man.
Drew, you got anything to...
No, I'm all good. Thank you all for coming out. That's really
all right, for
Appreciate
episode
it.
100, Court is adjourned.